I'm thankful that I was able to get some good help along the way. The first person I got was not, but I got a second psychiatrist. He stayed with me for about 15 years. When he said, I said to him one day, Dr. F, uh, I'm so glad you didn't tell me I was just sensitive. And he said, Gail, because that's what my first psychiatrist told me, you're only sensitive. You don't have anything wrong with you, which did not make me feel good. Because I want to be sensitive. It helps a lot. But anyhow, he said, Gail, you're not sensitive. You have major recurrent depression. We're going to treat that. We're going to persist and pursue until we can find something that helps. Medication. And then later he introduced me to cognitive behavior therapy. Should I continue talking about that?
Yeah,
But
please do.
that, I don't know if you know that method. It's got probably slightly different names now, but what it is that you address the disbeliefs you have because you don't believe they're disbeliefs, that they're inaccurate. Um, Trying to remember the names of the doctors that originated it, but I have written about it also in my blog. But what it was on a sheet of paper. I was, first of all, I was taught in a group class about cognitive behavior, and I thought, this might work for me. So I signed up to work individually with a PhD student of the professor that had the original group class on cognitive behavior therapy. We met every week, and I was still working. Uh, it was an exercise. It was hard to do because I had to confront beliefs I thought were sure. Like sometimes things with my depression would tell me everything's wrong in my life. Now that seems like it's a catastrophic statement. I realize now, but I didn't know then. So it would have me on a sheet of paper write down my belief, and then in the next couple of columns, it would have me write down what was accurate about my belief and what was inaccurate. And then I had to square. I had to be honest and say, this is right. I have my children, I have a home, I have a job. We have, some financial struggles, et cetera, et cetera. But I have all these things. So in the end, it asked me to rate my belief in terms of percent. How much percent do I believe, still believe that everything is wrong after I looked at the pros and cons of my belief? And I would rate 25%. It's my belief was inaccurate. Now that sounds simple, but doing those sheets one at a time for different beliefs took a lot of time, and I cried and cried because I was so sure those beliefs were accurate. That's how much depression changes your mind. Um, so I did that for years, and now I can do it in my head. Uh, and I don't have low self esteem anymore. I had a pretty good dose of that. I also had some sexual assault by a brother and some bullying by another brother when I was growing up. I reported the assault to my parents, but they never talked to me about it, only to him. So nobody said to me, Gail, you weren't at fault for this. You know what I mean? And so I recommend an organization, RAINN, deals with sexual assault and abuse and bullying. And I support Hope House here locally, which anyhow, I'm going off course. And then I know the other thing was part of my depression for a long time was morning depression. I would wake up with these horrible thoughts. So I learned to put down on index cards things that help me. And I would lay them out on my countertop in the kitchen. So I'd see them first thing in the morning and I would read them. And they would say things like, your negative thoughts are inaccurate. You are okay. My son chipped in when he was still a teen living at home, and he said, Mom, pretend it's, I forget what the word is, holodeck or hologram when you wake up,
Hologram.
and you can make it all vanish. I still have that card. I had several like that. And other things that inspire me were recognizing beauty around me and flowers, uh, all kinds of beauty, vegetables, fruits, uh, color. Color has been essential to me. I don't know why, but even in my worst depressions, there might be a breakthrough where I saw something colorful and it aroused me for a bit. So I've learned one of my cards was filled with a message of color, and I have colorful things around me. Um, and I actually color now. I'm getting pretty good at it. I color other people's drawings, but I've been doing it for 5 years. And uh, this last year, I've been drawing, taking my coloring more from nature and from the books on art that I have. Not just trying to color in the lines in one smooth color, but to make it more interesting and dynamic. And I give things as gifts that I've colored. Um, I love to grow. We don't have a garden now. We always did, but I grow in pots. And being outdoors, just 15 minutes taking care of those plants is nurturing. Walking is nurturing. Um, Music, immensely important to me. All kinds of music. Performing myself, but also, which I don't do anymore, but listening to music. And it was important to our children growing up. They all took music, they all took art, all 4 years of high school. Um, Cooking from scratch is gratifying.